Hi everybody, I'm going to talk about how we emit our electronic calibration certificates and how we have arranged our data according to the PTB schema. CENAM emits electronic calibration certificates which are PDF document protected by a password. Most of the information in the cover of these certificates is the data required in the administrative data section. There are some important information for us that is not in the schema in a specific way, but we have arranged how to include it. The information about all the calibration is uploaded in a separate PDF file. Therefore, we have not that information saved in a database. We will have to design the way to obtain and save it. So first of all, I want to explain in a general way how we generate our electronic calibration certificates. This is how our current system looks like. We start asking for the service number. This one. This is our unique identifier for each service done in CENAM. This number goes according to the year. This year we started in 200,000. Next year it will be 210,000 and so on. We do it that way for easily recognition of the year of service realization. Then we show the customer information, name and address. We have this data since the customer accepts the service. If needed, this information can be edited here. Next, we show the items information. It can be edited too. As we can see, the information we have is description, brand, model, serial number, and identification. Finally, we ask for the begin and end dates, place of calibration, live, and responsible persons, who did the calibration and who will approve the certificate. Besides, we ask for the document with all the results in PDF and calculus file. It could be zip, Excel, doc, etc. After all the before information is registered, a first cover is generated and the calibration responsible signs the certificate. We use an electronic signature named CAT for its meaning in Spanish. That means password for authorization electronic procedures. Then the person that approves the certificate has to sign. After this is done, the unique identifier is generated and added to the cover and all the pages in the results file. The signatures are added to the cover too. Both files, the cover and the results, are pasted and protected with a password. This is an example of a cover. As we can see, we have the customer information, item or items information, place of calibration, or unique identifier, the service number, the date of issue, and the begin and end dates, the names of responsibles with the electronic signature. At the end, we add some general statements. This is an example of how we add the unique identifier to each page inside the results file. We add the service number too. Now we are creating some prototypes for generating the digital calibration certificates. One of them is based in the current one. We have all the sections in the schema separated in steps. We already have the information. If we already have the information, it is loaded. If not, we will request it. This prototype is developed in Visual Studio. It is a web application that uses the system.xml namespace to generate the XML and use Crystal Report for create the human readable representation. With this prototype, we have already generated successfully the XML with the administrative data. This is the prototype. We start in the same way, asking for the service number. We load the general information, description, area, laboratory, and here we have the two main sections of the schema, administrative data and measurement results. Each one with the inside section this is in software, core data, items, calibration laboratory, etc. For measurement results, used methods, used software, measuring equipment, results. Now we will see some of our database structure, what we already had, what we needed for complete the administrative data, and what is still missing. This is a software. We hadn't anything about it, so we create a new table for it that is related to our general certificate table. This is our general certificate table with this unique identifier, and it's related to our new DCC software table. Core data. We consider that country code, used language, and mandatory language as constants. In used language, we will indicate Spanish and English. As I mentioned it before, we have a unique identifier for the certificates. This is an example. It includes a kind of acronym for CENAM, the type of service, CC for calibration, the area that did the calibration, a consecutive number. This consecutive number is per area and year, and then the year. In identifications, we are adding our service number that has probably you just noticed is important for us. We save the receipt date when the equipment arrives to CENAM, and as we do now, we ask for the begin and end dates when the certificate is being generated. If it is needed to replace the certificate, we have the relation between the new one and the old one, so we have the previous report too. This is our current structure with all the information for certificates that is in core data. As you already saw, we have the information about the equipment to calibrate. We have the description, model, serial number, brand, etc. But we will add the base 64 encoding. Calibration laboratory. This is all the information from CENAM, so we will consider them as constants. I just explained that we have two roles, who did the calibration and who approved the certificate. And we use an electronic signature. So we have the required information for rest persons section, but we are going to add our electronic signature in the attribute of person element. Customer. We already had the information about the customer. We have a customer catalog with its addresses and representatives. This gives us all the information required in this schema. Statements. As you saw, in our current cover, we add some general statements. We will consider them as constants. However, each area adds some additional statements at the end of the result files, so we had to create an additional table in order to save them. This table is related with our general certificate table. This is our general certificate table with the unique identifier, and this is our new DCC statements table. Measurement results. Nowadays, each laboratory has the data about the calibration, but in our main database we have nothing. As you saw, we just save a PDF file with the results and extra files with the specific data about the calibration. So this gives us the path for our future work. We already working in the design of the database for saving all the data required in the schema for all the sections inside the measuring results and how we can obtain it. Until now, our options are base64 for the graphics and read Excel file for tables. But as the tables could be very different in each service, we will probably save them as XML, just for generating the certificates. But we don't want to have just the information for generating the certificate. We would like to have all the data produced in the calibration for future consult. But this we will need a lot of analysis work in order to determine the database structure. Thanks for your attention.